This is Ryan Watches a Movie, where we get our friend Ryan to watch a movie and tell us what he thought.
Going balls out in the lumberyard.
Watching the Grunion Pro Magi. If you're listening to this, don't even waste your time.
Hello, welcome to Ryan Watches a Movie. This is episode number 186. My name's Adam Patterson. With me today, we have Kevin Rakestraw. How you doing there, Kevin?
I'm doing alright.
We're also joined by local celebrity, Ryan Holes. How are you?
I'm addict.
Are you tired from signing all those autographs?
Yeah. Yesterday I did sign too.
Are you serious?
Yeah, my doctor office.
Nice. Wait, from who did you sign? Like, were they
My
patients?
doctor and my one nurse wanted.
Don't they always get your signature?
They wanted me to sign the article.
Are they gonna like frame it or something?
I guess.
Whoa. So Ryan was in an article in his local newspaper, and he talked about his disease, and I guess they were doing it because of the ride ataxia thing. Is that what
But it was published too late.
It was like a little profile piece on Ryan. It was pretty great. So if you look at my Twitter, Kevin's Twitter, or even Ryan's Twitter, I think, you can find a link to it. So check it out, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
I think it's pretty cool that they did that.
How the front picture is me with no shirt on.
It reminds me of when we were the first time we went to South by Southwest, and I had you take your shirt off for the badge photo.
Yes.
that was hilarious.
It was wonderful.
I did notice that there was no mention of Film Pulse in that article. What the hell?
Yeah.
I talked about my podcast a whole lot. And I was
and she just fucking kept it out.
Cut it out.
Unbelievable.
Nice.
I guess she did.
But she's
Because
got to put in there, he's a Bengals fan.
Yeah.
she didn't
I know
want
you're a
State fan.
Bengals fan.
she didn't mention the fact that I watch movies on, I think.
It mentioned that you like comedy, but that I believe was right before she talked about Family Guy. So, oh well, could have been some good promotion there. Get those York people, get all those cinephiles in York. Anyway, be sure to check that out. You know what? I think I'll put a link to it in the show notes, so it'll be a little bit easier. What movie did we have you watch this week?
Gulliver's Travels.
Gulliver's Travels.
Is this the whatchamacallit one?
It's the Jack Black one.
Oh, God. I forgot that this existed until just now.
Yep. This came out in 2010. This is directed by Rob Letterman. Picked this in honor of Goosebumps coming out this week. Also starring Jack Black and directed by Rob Letterman. This suggestion comes to us from our friend Leo. Thank you, Leo, for this suggestion.
Leo's still around.
Yeah.
But
If you want to suggest a movie for Ryan, make sure that it is relevant and send me an email, podcast@filmpulse.net, and I will entertain your suggestion.
I think you forgot to add that I have to be tortured when I'm watching a movie.
Yeah.
You
of
have
course.
to pick out a if I'm going to watch.
Yeah, don't pick a good movie. Come on. Unless it's one that you think Ryan would have a really hard time with.
Yeah.
There have been a few ones that we consider good that we had him watch over the years.
as long as it's got enough conversational starters in there,
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter about
As
quality.
long as you got those politics.
Politics. Did the woman that profiled you, did you guys like get knee deep in some Peter Pan politics?
I wanted to talk about that. I did not.
She wasn't having it.
Can I just talk a minute about Peter Pan politics? And she's like, no, can we just talk about your disease and your life?
Oh, jeez.
I have a synopsis here. Travel writer Lumel Gulliver takes an assignment in Bermuda but ends up on an island of Lilliput where he towers over its tiny citizens. Ryan, tell us a little bit about Gulliver's Travels.
So Gulliver is trying to impress this writer in New York City, and he decides to fabricate a story and gets it published, and she reads it and tells him that he has to go to the Bermuda Triangle and write a piece on that. So he takes a plane to Bermuda. It takes a boat to the Triangle, falls asleep on the boat while it's going to the Triangle. And he wakes up and he is on the shore of an island containing nothing but little people, I'm guessing, is what they're supposed to be. They're like maybe 6 inches tall, and he's normal height. So when they find him, they imprison him because he's frightened. They're frightened of him. And then he breaks out of jail and saves the princess from being kidnapped. And he also...
What princess? Where's this princess?
Of this island.
Is she little as well? She's a little person? Okay.
And he also saves her dad, who's the king. And he saves him by peeing on a fire and putting out the fire.
Ah.
It saves life.
Can you imagine the smell if you're a little person?
Oh my goodness. I mean, to be inundated with that much urine.
Jack Black.
I mean, yeah. And I mean, it's great that it kind of saved your life, but at the same time, Lord have mercy. That's too much urine.
It would be a flood of urine.
Exactly. That's just too much.
So they let him out of jail. And he's the big hero. And someone attacks the island that they're on, and he goes out into the ocean and fucks everything up because he's invulnerable to what they're doing. And he finally gets back to New York City, and he beats back up with this reporter girl who's played by Amanda Peet, and they live happily ever after.
Okay. So, I didn't mention some of the other people that are in this. We have Jason Segel, Emily Blunt, Amanda Peet, as you mentioned, Billy Connolly, Chris O'Dowd, T.J. Miller, James Corden. It's a lot of people in this, so what did you think of it overall?
I thought it was way too silly. There is a lot of star power, but it's a kid's movie, I think.
Oh, it is rated PG, so yeah, it's probably more geared towards kids. I did see this movie back when it came out, although I literally remember nothing about it, so...
What?
I remember nothing about this one.
I had to watch it twice in the last 2 days because I didn't remember anything the first time. It's a bland movie. Not many exciting things happen.
It's just Jack Black being Jack Black.
Oh, Jack
Black being on people.
Beating on people?
That's funny for about 5 seconds.
The whole movie's just him pissing on everyone.
Does he urinate more than once?
No, just one.
Oh, thank goodness.
Probably because he kills half the population with his destructive urine.
Pee flood.
Fucking great pee flood.
The great pee flood of 2010.
Oh God.
So not a lot of opinions about this one, other than it was just too silly and dull.
Some of the things were kind of funny. Like some of the little people on the island. Some of their interactions with Jack Black, they're kind of funny. But as a whole, not really for me at all.
Well, this has a 20% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, Kevin, I take it that you have not seen this one.
I have not, no.
I don't know, it's a movie that I kind of wish I had the time back that I never would have watched it, especially twice. Because even when you understand what's happening, it's still stupid.
Is the bad guy played by Chris O'Dowd? Is he the bad guy?
Yes.
And I remember there's a scene where he gets into like a rope. He builds like a giant mech and they fight, right?
Yeah.
Well, this is ridiculous because what I'm seeing in Wikipedia here is that he built a robot from the blueprints of Gulliver's Guitar Hero 3 game manual.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That's what I'm saying. So ridiculous things like that.
What are we doing to Jonathan Swift's classic?
Guitar Hero 3, dude.
Oh my
God. What I want to know is why does he have a Guitar Hero 3 game manual with him in the Bermuda Triangle?
Is he just boning up on the ins and outs?
It was just some reading material, some light reading material for the trip. Oh my God.
He's having issues with the controls. He just got it. He got it before the trip to the Bermuda Triangle. And he's like, I'm going to master this game manual. And then when I come back, I'm going to be the master of Guitar Hero 3.
He was playing standard mode with the 3 keys, and he's really struggling with expert mode when they add that 4th key in there.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it was. And
he's doing research. He's doing his research. You got to commend him. Takes his Guitar Hero 3 seriously. Why is Guitar Hero 3 in a remake of a Jonathan Swift classic novel? Why? Like, who thought that this was a good idea?
I assume because was this around the time that Guitar Hero 3 was popular?
Yeah, I was just going to say, because
I would hope so.
2010.
It'd be even worse if it was at a time when Guitar Hero 3 was not popular.
I hope that there's a Guitar Hero 3 manual in Goosebumps. Like that's one of the books that gets opened up by R.L. Stine, and Guitar Hero 3 gets unleashed onto the world.
That'd be great if that's his shtick.
He always has a Guitar Hero 3 manual somehow involved in the plot.
Yeah, that's Black-Letterman's shtick. Guitar Hero 3 manual.
Oh God, yeah, that 2010. That's right around the same time that the instrument games were huge. But not saying that there's a place for it in Gulliver's Travels, because obviously there's not. It's ridiculous.
No.
And the whole robot fight thing was ridiculous too. I remember how stupid that was.
Yeah.
And what kind of movie has Chris O'Dowd being a bad guy? How could you not like Chris O'Dowd? Seriously.
I think because in this, there's a lot of smart aleck comments. So he's not really like an evil man. He's more like a smart ass.
He's just kind of a dick. Yeah, Chris O'Dowd has played a dick in a couple different movies. I know he was a dick in that one with Nick Frost, the dancing one, the salsa one. I think he was kind of a dickhead in that one. But okay. Let's talk about the director. Let's talk about Rob Letterman and his affinity for Guitar Hero 3 manuals. So, in addition to Gulliver's Travels and Goosebumps, he did Monsters vs. Aliens, which was that animated film that I wasn't a big fan of. And he did Shark Tale, which I also was not a big fan of. In fact, I hated Shark Tale, actually.
Well, I never saw it. I saw Monsters vs. Aliens.
Yeah, that one was disappointing to me. I liked the concept of that one, but yeah, I didn't think it was that funny. So, yeah, pretty light filmography for him, but I'd say that most of his movies have been successful, at least financially.
Yeah.
I guess that's all that matters in Hollywood.
That's all that matters, Ryan.
Well, all his movies are kids movies too, so that's obviously not our demographic.
No.
Have you seen any of his movies, Kevin?
I don't think so. I don't think I have.
He did the visual effects work on Lake Placid.
Ooh. I didn't see that.
I liked Lake Placid.
Didn't the alligator come out of the water and ate the person?
Yeah, I think it was Betty White. It ate Betty White, I think.
Oh, no.
Pretty sure she was the older lady in that got eaten by the alligator.
Oh, I saw parts of Monsters vs. Aliens. I didn't see the whole thing, but parts of it.
It's not very good.
Yeah, it was alright.
I remember that whole scene in Lake Placid looking pretty awful.
Oh, no.
Well, that's an older movie. That came out in 1999.
I'm not a fan of anything that Rob Letterman's done.
No.
Oh no, the Guitar Hero 3 manual was for PS3 or Xbox 360.
What I want to know is, how did he craft a giant mech out of that manual? Like, what was contained in that manual that led him to design a giant mech?
I guess because he had it and they thought he was like a god.
Yeah, but I mean, what did he use from that manual? Were there pictures of giant mechs in the Guitar Hero 3 manual?
I really don't remember the mech that much.
Yeah, because the mech is kind of ridiculous looking. Like, I don't know where that would come from.
Exactly.
Oh, and he gets a wedgie. He gets a wedgie from the mech.
Oh, jeez. Are there any fart jokes in this?
I think there might be one or two.
I could just see it where Jack Black farts and it's like a wind. It's like a giant gust of wind that like blows people away. I could just totally see that happening.
They use pee jokes.
If not, more than likely it's at least a deleted scene.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Didn't make it. Left on the cutting room floor.
How were the effects? How are the effects with Jack Black being giant and everybody else being tiny?
They were okay for the most part.
Are they on par with Indian in the Cupboard?
I never saw that.
Ugh.
I
saw Indian in the Cupboard.
You're just disgusted with him.
I never saw Indian in the Cupboard. That was a huge movie when we were little.
No.
God. Too busy watching Reboot.
He watched Reboot 24/7.
Reboot on Blast my house. We had one channel of the reboots, you know.
Now, I'm not sure if we ever talked about him on the show before, but what's your take on Jack Black, Ryan? Are you a fan of his?
Sometimes, and sometimes I'm not.
Okay. And Kevin, you used to be a pretty big Jack Black fan.
Jack Black's alright. It's just sometimes when he goes into that, that hyper mode, it's a bit too much.
I'm actually
It's good in small doses. It's just tough when they have him, shouldering something on his own, being the lead.
Yeah.
It's just too much Jack Black.
I agree, and I'm that's kind of what makes me interested in seeing him in this Goosebumps movie, because I don't know, it seems like maybe it could be like a different role for him, and it's not just him, it's he's bouncing off of other people, so maybe it'll be worth checking out. We do have a review for Goosebumps up on the site today, so Ernie reviewed it and gave it a 7, so I guess he liked it, but I don't know. Let's go ahead and give you a drum roll before we get too much further into Goosebumps. Ryan, what do you give Gulliver's Travels?
3.
No, 3 out of 10. I feel like we're throwing a lot of threes getting thrown out recently.
And that one just sounded like he couldn't even be bothered to say it.
Yeah.
I almost falls in
3. It just kind of fell out of your
mouth. Yeah, one of these days I hope we have a movie where you're just, when I ask you for a score, you just go, I don't even, it doesn't matter.
I don't care. Whatever. Because that 3 just kind of sounded like it fell out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Like
it's a lackadaisical 3.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? What are your thoughts on Goosebumps?
We didn't make a movie about something as popular 20 years ago.
What I want to know, because I genuinely don't know this, are Goosebumps books still relevant? Are they still being read by children? That's my first question, because in the trailer for this movie, it looks like all of the characters, all the Goosebumps books characters that are in this movie are all the ones from when we were kids and Goosebumps was popular. Like the like Slappy the dummy from Night of the Living Dummy. And there's like a Yeti character from, I can't remember what that one was called, but I remember the cover.
It looks like there's like a spin-off series that's been going on.
Oh, really?
It's like from 94 to 2000 and then 2008 to now.
Can you buy Goosebumps on Amazon?
Oh, I'm sure.
But I'm still wondering, like, you know, like you said, is it still relevant? Like, are there a lot of kids reading Goosebumps?
And the reason
you know,
I'm
like
asking,
kids, every single person had Goosebumps.
Yeah. And the reason I'm asking is because this movie seems like it's geared towards kids. It's a family film, but it also seems to me like it maybe would be more successful if they marketed it to us, you know, the people in their late 20s, early 30s that grew up with Goosebumps.
Dark movie.
I'm not saying that make it like dark and adult or anything, but make it a little bit more adult, you know, make the humor a little bit more biting, or I don't know. Of course, I haven't seen the movie. Maybe it is like that. But just from the trailers that I've seen, it looks like a kid's movie. It looks kind of like Jumanji.
Wonder if Jack Black pees on them.
I hope so. I hope he pees on everybody. Just randomly pees on people. I don't know. It's kind of a... If you're going to make a Goosebumps movie, it's kind of a clever way to do it, where, you know, the books are actually... the characters from the books come to life. Because what are you going to do? You know, you'd make a Goosebumps movie. How... Like, what is there? Because it's not just one story, you know?
Yeah.
It seems to me like they only had a few options. What they did, or maybe do some sort of anthology or something. But there was a Goosebumps TV show also that brought a lot of the books to life, and that show was really bad. It was one of those Canadian kids shows, like Are You Afraid of the Dark, but much worse.
Didn't they have one on Nickelodeon?
No, the Goosebumps show was on Fox, I think. At least I remember seeing it on Fox. The Are You Afraid of the Dark was on Nickelodeon. The old Snick lineup.
Are You Afraid of the Dark was the best.
Yeah, Are You Afraid of the Dark was the best, and I think that show still has one of the best intros of any show ever. It was the scariest intro. And then the show itself is so goofy and dumb. But that intro, man, I'll never forget it. I think I had a huge collection of Goosebumps books, but I think I owned way more than I actually read.
I think I had, like, I didn't have that many. And I think it was because I didn't read them, so my parents wouldn't buy me anymore.
I think that was the cool thing about Goosebumps books, was that most people didn't even read the damn things, they just collected them.
Yeah.
Because they had really cool covers, like Say Cheese and Die. That was my favorite. Say Cheese and Die. Wonderful. All right, so I may be checking out the Goosebumps movie. I haven't decided yet. I'll probably just wait on that one. I don't need to see that in the theater. And I take it, Ryan, you have no interest in actually seeing it.
Fuck no.
Oh.
You were a Goosebumps kid growing up, weren't you?
Yeah, I love the books, but like I said,
you just wait for that.
Not hearing about them for 15, 20 years, I kind of lost interest.
Yeah, I think I lost interest when they were still relevant, actually.
Yeah, really.
Because I know that I no longer bought them or collected them or whatever, and they were still pushing those things out like every week. Wait, I used to get so excited for the Scholastic Book Fair.
Oh my god!
In hopes that there'd be some new Goosebumps books available.
Talk about like the greatest point of the school year.
You go into school and the book fair is open.
Oh,
you're just like, yeah,
goodness,
the book fair.
Oh, man.
Staples every book on them.
And you'd stock up on your pencils and your eraser tips, the customized one. That way you could show off your personality. Get your books.
I always liked there was this one line of pencils that they were like the wood was actually colored, so it'd be like green or orange, and it had have really crazy designs carved in them and stuff. I loved those pencils. I can't remember the name of them, but they were awesome.
I like the Curly Q pencils.
Those were stupid. Only dorks use those.
Dumbass.
Curly Q pencil.
What's wrong with you?
All right. Any final thoughts, Ryan, on Goosebumps or Gulliver's Travels?
No.
No?
Mm-hmm.
Skip it on both accounts?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for the week. Be sure to send us your questions. Podcast@filmpulse.net is the address. Follow us on Twitter at MyLegsDon'tWork, at FilmPulseNet, and at FilmPulseKevin. See how I switched up this week?
Ooh.
And take a minute to look at our Patreon page, patreon.com/FilmPulse, and consider helping us keep the site and the show running. For Kevin Rakestraw and Ryan Holtz, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you on Monday.
See you later.
Oh my goodness.